Hey guys, in today's video we're going to be demoing the frigate I just built, so let's go ahead and get over to the testing world. And here we are, this is it. I'm calling it the Sentinel, the MTS Sentinel, Malthinian Ship Sentinel. And it's a frigate class ship. I think it's not big enough to be a destroyer and it doesn't have enough firepower to be a destroyer. Like destroyers are good for destroying other ships, but this ship is good for like ground attack and things like that, and basic defense. So that's what I'm using this ship for, and I'm going to walk you around the components of the ship. So there are three main driver positions. Here's the first driver position where you move the up and down engine, and here is where you gum up the up and down engine. Here is the second driver position over there where I just was. Here's the third driver position where you can control the other horizontal engine, and then there's a few bombing mechanisms. There's one here, one here, and then one here. And the bombing mechanisms are arranged diagonally in a line, and that way if I'm moving horizontally one direction I can bomb kind of in a sweeping motion that way, and if I'm moving horizontally the other direction, because they're arranged diagonally, it's still a sweeping broad bombing stroke. That's important to me. So what are the other components? There's only one other real component of this ship, and it is these dispensers with target blocks. These are filled with potions of harming. So if I'm on this side of the ship and a fighter starts attacking the other side of the ship, well, the first thing I want to do to deter a fighter is I want to go along the border of the ship and shoot at the fighter. So I'd have a multi-shot crossbow, I'd have rockets loaded with the shortest range and the maximum possible damage, and I just create a blanket of firepower around the ship. But if that doesn't work, which it's likely that it won't, it'll just cause a little bit of damage at the least, then what you can do if, say, an elytra lands on the other side and they just latch onto one of those mine carts, they aren't sure exactly what to do, they haven't seen this ship before, so they're sitting there for a second. So you take your trusty crossbow, and this time you load it with arrows, and you launch it into the target block, and you launch as many as you can. If the elytra lands on that side of the ship, you launch this one. If it lands on this side of the ship, you move over there and you launch that one, right? And these pots basically launch to the other side of the ship and do damage. So it's not going to be a lot, but it's going to give you an advantage in the coming melee fight, right? Because that's what everything in Minecraft breaks down into, is a melee fight of some kind. So yeah, that is the frigate. And what this frigate is mainly used for, say you have some large, slower, or not technically slower, but larger and less maneuverable ship, like this carpet bomber. Dun, dun, dun. Imagine that conveniently sitting here. This carpet bomber can only move in two directions. It can't move left or right, and it can't move up and down. So it's much less maneuverable. And say it's just moving along, and it needs to be defended from elytra. Well, you have this more maneuverable ship down here that can move up, move around the carpet bomber, and basically defend it from elytra if need be. It's the ship that's going to engage the elytra if the elytra start to target something like this carpet bomber. So yeah, let's see it in action. Which way do I want to move? So I'm going to load as if I'm a pilot, and when you're a pilot you need to have a bunch of slime block on you. So I'm going to gum up the up and down mechanism, and let's just say we want to move horizontally like this. So I'm going to break this block, and then come over to the other seat and break the other gumming blocks. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to come over back to this pilot's seat, and let's just move this way. So you can hear the dispensers firing, but there's nothing loaded. In order for the dispensers with TNT to actually drop bombs, then they need to be loaded with TNT. But that's not true of the pots, that's why we have the target blocks there. Yeah, so we're just moving along. If we want to stop it, we do this. And that's pretty much how it works for each of the directions of each of the three-way engines. Sorry, there's 3 two-way engines. I didn't really say that clearly. The other thing I want to show you is that it's got some blast resistance. So if you're flying close to the ground for like a ground attack mission and you're getting launched at from anti-aircraft, basic anti-aircraft will not get through this very quickly. It'll take some time to blast through this end stone, which has a high blast resistance. So yeah, that is the Sentinel, the MTS Sentinel. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.